Good morning, everybody. BDF 44 coming at you with another video. All right, so what time is it? 9:15. This is early as I stepped out, but to be honest with you, while I was in the shower, the smoke detector started acting up, and I couldn't do nothing with it at all. So that is exactly why I'm leaving the house this early. I don't want to be in there listening to that thing say battery needs replacing or whatever the hell he keeps on chanting after beeping every car. I don't know. It's too loud. I don't usually deal with bad smoke detectors. When the smoke detector started acting up at Linux, I tore the thing out the wall. I kid you not. Like, I literally broke it. It was already broken, and I took scissors, snapped that thing loose, and snatched it out the damn wall, threw it in the trash. I just don't have a whole lot of patience for that type of beeping at all. I'm an audio person, so anything like that monotonous is gonna drive me crazy, and I won't allow it to. So rather than destroy theirs, I just figured I'd better let them know and then get the hell up out of there. So that's what I did. But yeah, man, feel strong, feel good. Dealing with same old stuff. Ain't nothing serious though. I mean, as far as everything is concerned, you just got to deal with life as it comes. You don't really think too much about problems, other than if you can find solutions, find solutions. If not, then you got to move on from those problems and leave them where they are. That's pretty much how I feel about that. So I don't think too much at all. Just keep on pushing forward. Put God in front of everything else. So hope everybody's doing the same thing. I'm dealing with right now my finger. I'm starting to think, to be honest with y'all, that I got arthritis in my thumb and in my right elbow, my left thumb and my right elbow, because it seems like those things are not healing at all. It just, no matter how much I do, if I pull that thing a certain way, it's gonna hurt. And it's been like that for over a month, probably over 2 months actually. It's probably since Linux I've been having these issues, but I figured it just came from working out, or something like that. But now I realize it's video games, man. Years and years and years of this bullshit. So yeah, I think it might actually be arthritic. And then the other side, the elbow, that's not healing at all. It's been hurting like that for months. And it pops. The elbow is double jointed, so I think that might have something to do with it. But every time I do my little workouts where I'm lifting my arm like this, going like that, doing my little squat routine that often requires, so every time requires me to lift both arms. After, in between squats, I lift. So for every squat I do, I'm also doing shoulder lifts. But the elbow, I guess I need to work my these joints a bit better, and it's always sore. So it's a little sore right now, given the fact that I hadn't been doing my squat regimen, but did it 2 days in a row these past 2 days, or the before. I went to the hotel over there the first couple of days since doing it, and so it was one of those situations where I guess that time off didn't help. But I'm not gonna do it today, or at least if I do, it'll be when I get back in the house. It won't be anytime soon. I'm gonna go take my walk and do whatever I do now. Probably come back here a little earlier than usual, since I don't be out for longer than a couple hours, to be honest with you. I'll be back by maybe noon, depending on what I find myself and what it is I'm doing. But what's on my mind this morning is honestly Gaza, that situation, because I read something today that they had bombed a pediatric cancer floor of a hospital, and I just say, man, they are really creative with their evil, man. This is quite interesting to see how far they're willing to take it, to bomb a bunch of cancer kids. I guess Hamas is hiding in the incubator or something. I don't know, man. But I mean, it's not funny in any way. Don't get me wrong, but it is kind of absurd. It's like absurd to how bad they want to be seen as the worst humans to ever live. Like, they're trying to compete with Stalin and compete with whoever the hell killed all them people in Congo, 3 million people. You're trying to compete with those people as the worst people ever. Hitler, of course. They're trying to compete. They're trying to see how bad they can make their reputation on this planet, as far as I can tell. Like, just how awful can people think we are? They're pretty bad, friends. Like, honestly, pretty bad. That's how bad we think you are. You're not quite where they at, but you're getting there, you know? You're getting there when you bomb the pediatric department, cancer department of a hospital where people have already been tortured by you for a long time. You know, I was listening to a guy, I don't know his name, but he's been updating us on what's going on there in his own way, just like a lot of people are, from the comfort of his home. And he was telling us that basically what they were doing, how they were able to kidnap all them men, was through a work program where they force these people to work for them. Usually they have them work for little to no money, man, like they do Mexican people here with labor work, you know, hire them for like $3 an hour, type of stupid shit. So they doing that to these people, and usually they give them work. This time they decided, since they at war, quote unquote war, which is really a genocide, they kidnap them and you know, do weird stuff to them on camera so we could all see how horrible they are. That's kind of what it is, you know. So that's why they were able to get so many dudes in such a short amount of time. It's because through that work program, they can just snatch them up that way, tell them they're gonna give them work, put them through the program, and instead of taking them to the jobs, they take them and do all that. So that's how they were able to do that. Not surprising. Like I said, they can try to compete to see if they can be worse than Hitler. That's what they're trying to do. They want to be the worst they can possibly be. You know? So I think it's gonna be dog eat dog when it comes to Israel, man. Eventually they're gonna kill the wrong person. That's what's gonna end up happening here. What they don't understand is people travel, fam. People travel, and you're gonna mess around in your mass bombing and kill somebody you don't like, somebody who can touch you. That's what's gonna end up happening to them. That's just how God works, man. They gonna mess around, kill the wrong person. Somebody gonna be where they are that they would never touch. Somebody they not supposed to touch gonna get touched. That's how that's gonna be there, and it's gonna be the end of them. That's exactly how I see that coming. Because that's just how the world is, man. Somebody's daughter's gonna be in Gaza trying to save somebody, or somebody's son gonna be in Gaza, and it's gonna be the wrong person that ends up losing their life. They've been able to effectively kill who they want to kill. Babies, you know, poor people. They've been effective in targeting the weak. But they gonna mess around and get somebody that they should not get. It's just a matter of time. Bombing hospitals. You don't know who's in them damn hospitals. Not to say the patient, but just somebody who might have volunteered. Somebody on the black market's daughter might be a nurse or something, trying to volunteer from out of the country just because she got a good heart, and her daddy's really one of them dudes. That's how this is gonna end up being. That's exactly how that's gonna go. Mark my words, that is something like that is about to happen. As Israel think they can't be touched, and they sloppy as hell, man. They sloppy as hell. They bombing any and everything, putting phosphorus in the air. Somebody who's not supposed to die gonna die, and then they're gonna find out how easily they can be touched by those who are not following the rules that the rest of us are following. That's what I see coming. There are a lot of people out here who have good hearts. They come from bad families. You understand what I'm saying? Good hearts. Daddy loved them. Daddy would destroy the earth to keep them safe. And they don't know what daddy's into. But you're gonna find out that you can't touch them. Whoever you are. 1%ers, daughters type things who live humbly, that kind of thing, they exist. They exist. They may not even know who they are in regards to that, because that's how far the family wanted to keep them from the realities of circumstances. But they watch them, they keep an eye on them at all times. Something like that is going to happen to Israel. Israel's going to mess around and get the wrong one, man. I see it coming. Because when you sloppy, as they are being right now, trying to be seen as the worst human beings to ever walk the earth, as if that is their goal. Something strange about that type of reputation. That reputation does not bode well for the people who hold it. While you trying to be the baddest, you need to remember why everybody else is not. Because you're going to have enemies coming out of nowhere. People who will turn on you just because, why not? Literally, why not? It's the worst person in the world. Turning on you is the easiest thing in the world. So all of your allies helping fund your bombs, everybody who's kind of working along with you on what you're doing, at any moment, they could just get a shits and giggle type of betrayal on you. It ain't going to be nothing to betray you, because the one thing about people is that no matter how much of a tyrant they are, they can't stand people that are hard to get along with. That's one thing I've noticed in life. You'll be the worst guy in the world, but he can't stand people who are difficult to get along with. When nobody likes you, you're bad for business. And when you're bad for business, you're easy to turn on. Why? Because it's going to be lucrative to do so. This is what Israel ain't into. This is the part that their egos has gotten big. Their brains have gotten, the head's gotten too big right now. They don't think they can be touched. They think that, at this point, the plans is going forward. Okay, you're going to go forward with your plans. You're mad at the world for not buying your bullcrap. Okay, that is part of the illness. But what you got to understand, and what they're not understanding is, it takes a team to keep you in power. You need a lot of things to come together so that you can keep doing what you're doing. It ain't just you manifesting this stuff from the earth, and then your fear is supposed to the fear that you have over everybody else is supposed to just make everything fall into place for you. It doesn't necessarily work like that. You need other things come together so that people can be fed, so that people can keep doing what they're doing on time every day. And those are the things that end up getting attacked when you become somebody easy to turn on. Who is feeding you? How are you getting your wheat? How are you getting your minerals? These are the things that people are going to start realizing, okay, if we want to get to these assholes, that's how we do it. I'm telling you, they done got too big-headed in their willingness or desire to be seen as the imperial bad guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally. And you start doing shit like they're doing right now, bombing cancer pediatric areas, your head done got too big. It ain't even about what you thought what it was about at first. Now it's just about, let's see if we can give the finger to everybody. Let's traumatize everybody, because F everybody. That's what they on. And I'm telling you, once you start doing that, you start losing sight of what needs to happen in order for you to stay in power. Once you start doing certain things that show the world that it's a good business to turn on you, you're going to start getting turned on. It's that simple. That's the part of the game that they're not taking into account, because they're too comfortable behind the fear that they have over other people's heads. But that fear ain't real, fam. Not everybody afraid of everything. Just because people are willing to fall in line as a unit don't mean that they're not going to turn on each other when it's time to turn on you, if for some reason that's what needs to happen in order to stop you. People are going to start understanding what they need to do to stop these assholes. And when that happens, we're going to see a swift fall. It ain't going to take long once it begins. I heard this nonsense that I was listening to today, talking about whatever that defense thing they use, the bomb shield, I don't know what they call that thing, that we're funding, that's supposed to keep Israel safe. Bombs are going up, out into the atmosphere and coming back down and hit hospitals in their own area. That's an inside job. And anybody that knows how that iron dome, that's what they call it, actually works, knows that that's not even how that works. It's not an actual freaking dome. It's not a dome. It's the ability to track bombs with bombs as they're being shot at you. That's all it is. It's not a real dome. So the notion that we are as stupid as to not know how your dome works, so that you will do something like that, thinking that we're as dumb as to think that it's an actual dome that will turn things around and send it back to you, is the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life. It's like, bro, it's not a real dome. The public knows it's not a real dome. So that's not even a real thing. You're not gonna be able to tell us that the bombs and popped off the dome and went back down to places that you ultimately shooting the bombs off to hit yourselves. It's obvious you're doing that. And all that does is give us more evidence to show that your ass was doing that on the 7th. You bombed your own people. How much was your people? We know that shit. And your behavior is showing us it. It's proving it. When you make it so that your Iron Dome has bombs bouncing off of it, when that's not even how it works. I'm listening to people say, yo, that's God. No, that's Israel. They're destroying their own shit to further put people in a position to think that they are in fact righteous in what they're doing. They're trying to justify the evil that they're doing by saying, oh, see what Hamas is doing to us? They found a way to attack our Iron Dome. No, your Iron Dome isn't a dome, fam. It's not really a dome. So by way of what it is you're saying it's doing, if people really know what the hell that thing is, they know that can't even be possible. The dome is actually your ability to track bombs with bombs. That's it. It's not a dome. It's not a real, it's not a Truman Show thing. That's not what it is. So I'm amused. I'm amused at how stupid they think we are. And here they go again, showing their stupidity in regards to measuring our stupidity. It's like, fam, we know how it works. Stop bombing yourself. You look crazy. So that's what I want to say to everybody else, man. For those who are not aware, that is what the Iron Dome is, man. It's bombs tracking bombs, fam. That's it. That's all it is. Bombs tracking bombs. It's not a dome. It's not something that if it bounces off the top of something, it's going to land on something, you know. No. If bombs came up and came down, that's what they wanted them to do. If they shot missiles up and they came back down, that's what they wanted them to do. Don't buy the lies. And certainly don't buy the stupidity, because that's an easy Google right there. That's an easy Google. I'm telling y'all, the evil has clouded their ability to really measure what's going on. And the people who are supposed to be keeping them from doing all of that, people who are supposed to be advising them, are too afraid to advise properly because they probably feel one or two things. Either they really don't want this to happen, so if they make themselves look as stupid, somebody would come around and stop them from doing the stuff that they have to do. Because you figure if you're killing everybody's kids, anybody that gets defects on you, you obviously expect that they're going to do that to you. You know what I'm saying? That's what the soldiers and the officials have to worry about. It's like, bro, if I defect on this nightmarish behavior, they're gonna turn that shit on us. So no, we can't defect, because if they do this to them, they'll definitely do it to their own, and that's understood. You'd rather be killed by the enemy than killed by a friend, because they'll disgrace your name within your own situation. At least you can get your medals for doing all this evil against your enemy, for which you probably buy the bullshit about your enemy anyway. They probably did a number on your brain. But the problem is, there's a threshold for that. There's a threshold for that. So there are people who know on the Israel side of things that they ain't getting away with none of this. And those people, in my opinion, are dry snitching. It's a form of dry snitching. When you look so damn dumb while wearing the uniform you're wearing that people wonder how dumb you are as a conglomerate. Fool, I want you to see me stupid so that you can stop us from doing this stupid shit. And that's what's happening there, I think. I see a lot of that going on their side. Because they ain't covering their backside at all. They ain't covering their backside at all. Iron Dome. The bombs came up and came back down. What, they hit the roof, huh? Got it. Ridiculous. It's dry snitching. That's all that is. It's a really, really elaborate form of dry snitching. Let me show y'all how stupid we are on this side, so you'll find a way to use it against us so we can stop us from doing the stupid shit that we don't want to do, too afraid to stop ourselves. That is what that is. That's exactly what I think that is. Because at some point in time, even the soldiers have to realize that they're doing shit that they should not want to do. There's a point where you realize, yo, We're gonna bomb another hospital? What we targeting? The children's pediatric cancer area? That's what we want? That seems like a mission that holds very little weight, man. Very little weight. When you try to convince thousands of soldiers to do that, there's gonna be a couple people who say, for real? And after about 8 or 9 of those for reals, eventually they're gonna start saying, nah, fam. But they too damn scared to say nah, fam, because they know their families will be targeted. So what do? That's a natural occurrence when shit like this is happening. You know that, right? That's absolutely natural. You don't even have to predict that. That's average. That's an average thought in this situation. Because at the end of the day, the people who are doing this, who are forced to do this, they have kids of their own. It's only so many times you're gonna see something like that with your own eyes and do something like that before it starts messing with your head. It's gonna start messing with your head. Like, damn, I had to really do this? Damn. You start seeing them faces. Damn. This ain't what I joined the service to do. You may be a racist bastard, but even some of the worst racists don't want to do what is required. They don't actually want to stomach it. They don't actually have to see it. They're like, I hate them, wipe them out. Okay, but you have to watch this? That's a different, that's you gotta have a stomach for that. That makes people start wondering where they are in their lives, what they want to do with themselves. Like, damn, so when I get out the service, I'm gonna be known as this? Damn, so if for some reason I do something they don't like, they're gonna do this to my kids? Like, these are things you're gonna think naturally. Like, damn, these who I work for, right? So I better not turn on them. Damn, they really want to do this, huh? What if they come back and what if they come 10 times stronger? They gonna do this to my kids too? Damn. I mean, these are natural thoughts. And these people are obviously showing me, particularly this brain, that they are arrogant in their inability, or their reasoning. They think they have the hold over the minds of a lot of people. So to the point where they ain't even covering their backside. So I know they're doing it with their own, because they're doing it with the public. I know they're doing it with their soldiers, because they're doing it with the public. See, that's the part you gotta understand. When somebody shows you that they're arrogant in their actions in regards to controlling others, when they are not effective in controlling others, that means they're not controlling the people they're supposed to be controlling either. They may have them by fear, just like they got our celebrities by fear. But you don't have them in a space where they can't think for themselves or something like, nah. They may be too afraid to let you know what they're thinking. But you ain't stopping from thinking. Because if you're effective in that, you wouldn't have any of the resistance you have out here. So these are things that just comes to a mind like mine naturally. It's like, okay, well, they're gonna start turning on each other. How does that look? If you're afraid somebody gonna kill your kids and do some crazy messed up stuff to your legacy in your own country. How does it look when you turn on them? How do you turn on them? You gotta do it covertly. You can't do it in a way that makes everybody see what you up to. No, you gotta do it in a covert way. You gotta do it in a way that makes people understand, like, yo, they on some other stuff. And I don't wanna be on it, but I have to be on it. So, in being on it, let me do this stupid little dance that brings attention to myself. Let me send a bomb up and send it back down. And then people will say, okay, well, the Iron Dome is it's defecting. And they look into what the Iron Dome is and realize it don't even work that way. And they start asking different types of questions. Just a theory. Their own people are defecting on them, man. Why? Because if you start killing a bunch of babies, eventually people are going to start wondering, well, what the hell did you do to me if I piss you off? What if I make a mistake? You going to do this to my kids too? What if I'm wrong? And I find out I'm wrong and I want to do something about it. What are the consequences of that? That's the problem with trying to do stuff like this. That is the problem. Or Or, okay, I'm aligned with this. Yeah, I want to do this. I want to do everything. But they're making mistakes. Why the whole world against us now? Weren't they supposed to have that under control? These type of things that creep into the minds of those who are supposed to be enacting this nonsense. Why is it that the world is protesting against us? Weren't we supposed to be good guys? Why are they making fun of us as if we ain't decent soldiers? I thought the big guy had this under control. I thought that we were supposed to be able to enact this nonsense and then proceed to bring forth whatever we want to build in the land. And you're like, you start questioning, how successful is what we're going to be building? If the world is against us and calls us this, that, and the third for what we're doing in order to wipe away the land. If I'm supposed to be wiping away the land and building some type of resort or something that's going to bring a lot of people to it, how the hell are they going to want to come to it now that we seen as the biggest, baddest, worst people in the world? They saw how we did it. So shouldn't we change our plans? Natural thoughts. Natural thoughts are going to enter a rational mind from behind enemy lines. That's why evil doesn't work, man, because it has too many holes in it. Eventually, people are going to start realizing it doesn't make any sense. It's not protecting itself. You're making the world hate you. Now your enemies can come from any direction, your blind spots, all different types of stuff. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. You don't know where it's coming from. It could come from the inside because you're traumatizing the people you're asking to do what? It could come from the outside, from any direction because everybody's watching this. It's like at some point in time, you got to ask yourself, when do we deviate from the plan? When do we realize the plan didn't work? When do we realize that we've changed the world against us in regards to what it is we're doing? Even if we get the land, it ain't going to be the same land because now the whole world hates us. The whole world didn't hate us before we did this. We were living comfortably. Now we got to adjust to the changes in the world. Now we got to walk the earth as the baby killers. How do we adjust to that? We enact more fear? People are making fun of us now. So what do we do differently that can make the world what it was before we did this, while simultaneously making it so that we can do this and enjoy the fruits that we had intended? They can't answer all them questions because they have no idea. They've put themselves in unprecedented, uncharted territory. And now they risk what they're building being a colossal bad investment, which means whoever's supposed to be helping them put it together is going to have to ask themselves those same questions in regards to the business. Are these guys bad for business? Now that the whole world is protesting against them, an entire generation has seen them murder 6,000 plus children. How in the hell are they going to be able to build anything that anybody would want to come to? At what point do we realize that these guys are going to cost people money by aligning with them? And they didn't even have the decency to stop when everybody was watching. How can I get in business with these people? So now the whole world is removing, slowly but surely, backing away from them. And that's a world they didn't envision when they were thinking about doing this. But see, evil ain't never going to protect itself. I keep telling y'all, evil ain't going to protect itself. The arrogance of evil is going to have it moving forward even when the plan has failed. But it's definitely not going to take into account what the world is now that they've done this. It's definitely not going to be able to adjust to the changes properly in this newfound situation. They're being known as the people who do things behind the curtain but are still respected. Everybody's afraid to say anything because, of course, it's anti-Semitic. Well, now they're seen as baby killers. What does that hat look like when you wear it? You done took this land from these people and the whole world know about it. How does the world look now when you do this? What does it look like now? When 98% of the world's population is looking at you like tyrants, how does the world look to you now? And the people who are aligning with you look like they're a step away from what you're doing. So all forms and facets of you and your allies look like you have to live in a world where they're expected to behave like you did. How does that look now? And if I'm a soldier on behind enemy lines supposed to be doing this shit, that's exactly what I'm asking. How does it look now? What happens to my kids now that I'm leaving the earth, well, leaving this circumstance, putting on this new hat as a bad guy? Now, are my kids safe? When they want to go travel to Earth Are they going to be protected by the same people who I'm supposed to be aligning with right now? Or are we going to be looking for bullets every which way we turn? Looking for somebody to bomb us in retaliation of what is done to us? How do we do this? If they don't have a plan for that, for which it doesn't look like they do, because they barely have a plan for how to handle this, then fam, it makes all the sense in the world to turn on them from the inside out. And their allies, who they think are just in their back pocket, gonna be looking for ways to moonwalking too. And look, you can best believe the American people are gonna do everything they can to find somebody who's gonna do that, who's gonna back away from Israel. We are not voting anybody in that has anything to do with them. I promise you. It's gonna be the number one bullet point for the next president, is how can we back away from those crazy people? Because if not, you ain't getting in office. We care more about that than anything else in the world right now. So that's gonna be your main selling point, is we backing away from Israel. Now, granted, a lot of times people say they're gonna do stuff and they don't do it as soon as they get inside, and they'll be like, well, we used to politicians doing that. That's what they always do. They promise something and they don't do it. They promise something and they get in that room and find out it ain't possible, or some shit like that. But in this case, if money is the motive, then those folks are bad for business. That's it. You ain't gotta have a heart to know that. You ain't gotta have a bleeding heart to care about nothing. You just gotta know what makes money and what don't. And if the whole world is against somebody, believe me, they bad for business, man. They're terrible for business. You ain't gonna be able to trust them to make a dollar for you, because everybody who's spending dollars hates them. You ain't see that part coming. And so, as I say to you, man, evil's implosion is imminent, bro. You can't do evil and expect people to roll with you for too long. It ain't gonna work. Eventually, people are gonna start looking at what you're doing and try to figure out ways how they can back away from you or stop you from doing it from the inside out. It's a matter of time, man. That's what the evil's all about. It's like I was telling you on a previous video. Evil, the plan and the dream in evil is to betray who works for them. That's the number one thing evil want to do, is betray. It don't want to do more than that. It wants to utilize you to do all you can to invoke pain on others, and then it wants to shame you for it. That's what it want to do. So when you find yourself in a situation where you're doing evil, please believe that's what it's going to be about. Please know that. Ain't going to be nothing else. It wants to shame you for doing its bidding. That's it. And as you go forward thinking that you got it all made because you're on the evil side, believe me, take notes of what I'm saying here. Something on the inside is going to turn on your ass. It's going to turn on you. Especially when you're doing this stuff like this. You ain't going to have no unanimous army full of people that you haven't lobotomized or done something absolutely crazy to. That's going to look at that and say, this is fine. Everything is fine. I'm a soldier and that's it. Eventually, the humanity stems from their childhood. It's going to start to bleed through your training. Human brain is different, man. It can be very different. Just because you got somebody under control don't mean that they ain't going to snap back into something like, what the hell? And eventually you're going to start seeing soldiers turn on them. Eventually somebody's going to say something to somebody who's listening that's going to make sense in a way that has not before, and they're going to do something different. And that's why it doesn't work. One of many reasons why it doesn't work. So they've been able to get away with it so far. They're still in the honeymoon phase of realizing they can get away with this. Realizing meaning not really, but they think they can. So they see it looks as if they're getting away with this. But like I said, if you pay close enough attention, you start seeing countries who were aligned with them backing away from them. I'm pulling my guy out. We got an embassy guy that's over there. He's supposed to keep the peace with y'all. We moving him on. One country after another moving their people out of Israel. Yeah, we out, but nope, we out. Nope, we out. Nope, we out. And what does that look like? When they finish doing that, nope, we out, then you start seeing what's really going on. Because now resources start to change. Public opinion is one thing, but now public opinion, even though you're not swayed by public opinion, it does mess with your allies who are swayed by public opinion. See, that part they ain't even paying attention to as well. you don't mind people protesting against you. But the countries who people are protesting in, who keep taking off work, it's affecting their bottom dollar when you are the reason why people ain't going to work. You the reason people ain't paying no taxes. Now they got to look around and say, doing business with you is bad for business because now you're making unrest happen in our country. Now we got to spend more money on crowd control tactics and things of that nature. Now we got to pay our security more because the civil unrest is taking place in our countries because of what you doing over there. And everything that come with that. It's a matter of time, fam. Got millions of people coming to this area. I got to spend more on cleanup. Got 1 million people coming to that area, causing ruckus. I got to spend money on security. I got 1 million people going over here. I got to pay for this and that. Now more people are doing this, that, and it just affects so much. It affects so much. And eventually you get to a point where you realize, yo, doing business with these people is just not worth it, man. I do better just backing away from these people, whether I feel what they're doing or not, because it's costing me more trouble and more money trying to manage what it is they're doing when people react to what they're doing. Bad for business. I'm telling you, Israel about to run into all this shit. Every bit of it. It's already started. And the wool that's over the American people's eyes, to a degree, that's coming to an end. Why? Because people talk to people. Now, if we were all in 1955 and everybody was watching only 11 o'clock p.m. news, then maybe you can have a more unanimous look to the opinion. But if you got people who are in their phones watching certain stuff that other people aren't watching, eventually we're gonna have conversations with those people. Word of mouth get around like, yo, they killing babies, man. They ain't doing what they telling you doing. And these celebrities that are quiet about it, they see what's going on. They just stuck behind contracts and make them feel like they can't do nothing about it. Like that spreads. That word spreads. And you start shaming these celebrities and these public figures and they ain't talking. Shame them enough, starts messing with their bottom dollar. They start getting dropped from different things. And it's like, oh, maybe I should kind of, you know what I mean? The landscape has looked a little different now that this has happened, and me trying to align with the people who did it probably ain't the way to go. Because at the end of the day, everybody's out for their own shit. So if what you're doing is going to affect their own thing, and guess what? If it don't benefit them to be quiet about you no more, why would they continue to be? That's what I was trying to explain 3 weeks ago. Like, yo, celebrities that are quiet, you want to get ahead of this, fam. You don't want to be the last ones talking about this where everybody's looking around at you like, why haven't you said anything? Just because these people telling you that they're going to do this, and to you if you speak up. Fam, they ain't going to have the power to do that for much longer once the world starts changing on them based on everything we've been talking about. They ain't going to be able to do that shit. Whatever kind of stuff they were going to do to you in the world that they were in before this happened, now they got to adjust to that new world. And within that new world requires more, a lot more, for them to be able to have that type of power than what they are holding right now. And if you're still standing behind them like they're going to be able to protect you, you're going to get hit by what's coming for them. People just got to be smarter, man. If I was a celebrity caught behind this bull crap, I'd have been talking quick, right away, like, yo, I don't know what's going on, but I'm not dealing with none of this. I don't condone any of this. God bless the children. God bless everybody who's hurting. Prayers out. Because if you don't, then they're going to remember you for that. And everything that you're trying to protect against in being quiet is going to be the very thing you welcome. Give it some time. That's how it works. Or rather, it doesn't work. It don't work. Silence in the presence of genocide when everybody's looking at it, it doesn't work, fam. It don't work. You can tell everybody to not believe their lying eyes, but people are communicating with one another. So eventually, even the ones that you convinced with that crazy stupidity are going to look at you and say, but they said, you see what I'm saying? And it becomes two voices they listen to, yours and then the other ones they're talking like mine. What they said, and they got to choose which one they want to believe. And the one that's going to make more sense is the one that's not condoning the baby killing. That's not allowing for people to uprise all over the world, taking off from work, tearing up the streets, distracted in their duties and making money for the people they're supposed to be working for. Thinking about this crazy stuff that you're doing that's traumatizing their minds. And like some stuff just needs a little sit down conversation to think. People need to just sit down and think for a second. Let's just stop and think. You are condoning a genocide after all that we've seen in this world up to this point that would make it so that people would not be pleased with such behavior. And you're making them see it, not just hear about it, but see it. You're allowing them to be seen doing this. So they get to be traumatized in unprecedented ways. It's going to give them a passion within themselves to uprise against it in ways that you haven't seen before, just the same. You're putting a face to the madness. You're putting a face to the martyr. And you made those faces babies, no less. You made those faces children, no less. Like I said, they may have been able to get away with this if they were doing this to people who were 19 and older. Then we seen a bunch of grown people getting killed. It's horrible, right? Oh, that's horrible as hell. You're doing it to babies? Now you got people's hearts involved. Mothers who can't have children are seeing babies murdered and martyred. People who've lost kids and now having to relive those experiences because they are now seeing this in their phones. You're doing something to people that make it so that they ain't gonna never do nothing good for you. While you sitting up here with your chest out, yeah, this is fine, we're gonna do it. And we're gonna drop a bomb on them soon. It's like, yo, you're still doing this, huh? F the world, everywhere, okay. But do you hold what the world actually is? Because what you think the world is, it obviously is not. Because if you understood the world like you think you do, you wouldn't have did this. I keep telling people the same thing about being God. If people want to be God, but you don't even behold what God is. If you knew what God's responsibilities were and what he takes on every day, you wouldn't want to be God at all. You wouldn't want to have nothing to do with his responsibilities. You would give him his crown back because you know dang well it is not one you want to carry. You don't want that on your head. It will crush you. Only one who thinks the responsibilities of God is something a man can carry or harbor or handle would be somebody who actually wants to be God. Nobody who understands God or knows God fully is going to want to try to put on his hat, man. Never. You wouldn't wish that on your worst enemy. It's too much responsibility. It's too much hatred coming your way. You are left too vulnerable to having your feelings hurt by those you created. You would never want to be him. Half the people you created to love don't even believe you exist. You don't want to be that. But those who don't have a full spectrum of what it is to be God, well, of course want to be their version of God. Problem is, once you start taking on that responsibility, you take on more than what it is you wanted to take advantage of, or take responsibility for, rather. Now you got to do this, 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 and this. All you wanted to do was that and that. That was it. That was your idea of God, but that ain't what it was. So now you got to deal with everything that comes with that, and you weren't ready for it. I tell you, man, that is exactly what I'm seeing there. That is what I see there. Hey, people were saying F the world. They don't even know what the hell the world is, man. They don't see it properly. If they saw it properly, they wouldn't even say that. Overestimating their own intelligence and underestimating their strength in regards to taking on too much. Every time I see people say F the world, do you know what the hell the world is? Do you know what's coming from over there? The best thing you ever seen will be coming from over there, but you want to say F that too, huh? You're really just saying F yourself. You don't even behold what the world actually is properly to know what the hell you're saying F to. Stop overestimating your own intelligence when it comes to things like this. It needs to be said. Too many people walking around with their heads up their behinds like they the final version of human evolution. No, friend. Smarter's coming. Stronger's coming. You ain't it. Stop thinking you are. It gets to a point where people go too far. And then you see this kind of nonsense. What we're seeing over there in Israel. You see this type of nonsense. People start believing they know what the world is. I know what it is. I got control over it. My technology and my science got it. Yeah, sure you do. Sure you do. We know exactly what it is, and we're going to do this, and we're moving forward with this. And you don't even know what's coming out of your blind side and what's coming behind that. While you trying to control all of this and certain you got all of that under control. You ain't got shit under control at all. Because when the whole world's coming against you, you start losing things that you're trying to take from others. Now people start thinking about what can be beneficial in regards to turning on you. How can I gain from turning on these evil bastards? How can I, what can come of this? How much money I can make with getting along with them who are hurt about what they did. Let's let them do this a little longer, and then we're going to find a way to be the solution for those over there who are hurting. We're going to turn on these bastards and we're going to take what they got. That's exactly what's about to Israel. That is what's about to happen to Israel. People are already starting to rub their palms like Birdman on how they can turn on these assholes. You can see it coming. Why? Because it's good for business. Ain't got nothing to do with saving no kids. They ain't killing about no kids. They're killing some kids probably somewhere else. But they definitely gonna take advantage of you doing this stupid shit out in the open. And your arrogance, they gonna take advantage of that. Your arrogance is somebody else's money maker, baby. Did you get that? No, they don't get that, because if they did, they wouldn't leave themselves look so damn stupid doing this. We got it. No, you don't have it. You don't even fund your own shit. How do you have it? You need the U.S. to back you. And you didn't insulted every U.S. citizen here. And what you don't understand about the U.S. is our politicians sway like the wind. So whatever you thought was sturdy here, it ain't sturdy. All we got to do is start attacking the pockets of our politicians, or whatever it is you think you got. They're going to turn on you just to keep their black pockets going. So you thinking you got them under control doesn't even fully behold what the hell they are. Again, people are allowing them to do that to a point, and they're going to intercept. To a point. And then it's going to be like, all right, let's stop them now. Let's use their stupidity against them. They stupid, man. Let's get them out of here. This is a matter of time, man. You were doing somebody's dirty work, Israel. I can't stress it enough. Somebody wanted you to clear that area out more so than you wanted to. You're emotionally driven, and they are not. And that's the only reason why you're able to get away with this. Problem is, we're going to put pressure on them, too. And they're going to back away like they were the good guys. I know they were going to do this. It's the American way, baby. It's the British way, baby. You are not real colonizers, man. You are a division of the colonizers. You ain't the real thing. That's what they need to understand. They think they're the real thing because they're in certain positions they need to be in order to control certain things, keep certain people quiet. You don't understand the world you're in. If you did, you wouldn't do this. If you fully beheld what it is that's around you, you would know there's a God in control of this thing who's fully aware of what you're doing and how to stop it. And he's going to put it in certain people's hearts to do so. And when it makes sense, you will be stopped. BDF 44. Thank y'all for watching.